Okay, so full disclosure, today's video is basically a confession. Because most of my day was me watching a truly embarrassing amount of YouTube. But stick with me, because somewhere in the middle of all of that, I accidentally learned something about my own brain. And also, there's cookies, and a cat heist. We'll get there. So the day starts strong. My mom wakes me up at 9 asking if I need to move my car. I don't. I parked on the street. She says goodbye, I love you, heads to work, and I go right back to sleep until noon. Champion behavior. And what's the first thing I do when I wake up? Do I get up? Do I make breakfast? No, I grab my phone, still in bed, and I just start scrolling. I watched a video about the voice actor who did Squidward's voice before SpongeBob even existed. Then, a trailer for the Backrooms game on Switch 2. Which, side note, they clearly shot that trailer to mimic the Backrooms movie trailer. It's like unofficial cross-promotion because the Backrooms isn't really anyone's IP. Nobody owns it. Anyone can make a Backrooms anything. Kind of fascinating how that works. Then, a Digital Foundry video about FSR4 on the Steam machine, taking 720p and making it look like native 1440p, doing frame gen from a locked 30 up to 60, and Richard Ledbetter saying it actually looks convincing. Then a video about a guy who watched every North Korean cartoon and came out the other side genuinely disturbed, because apparently they deal with some weirdly heavy adult stuff for children's entertainment. So that's what, 4 videos deep and I haven't left my bed yet? Then our family friend asks if I want to grab food, and I suggest Jack in the Box because I wanted to try another one of their burgers. And she's like, "Really? Jack in the Box?" And I'm like, "Trust me." She should not have trusted me. So here's what happens. She got a sore throat. She's trying to order through the drive-thru speaker, which already makes everyone sound like a garbled radio transmission. And we're doing 2 separate orders. Hers, just a burger and small fries. Mine, the double smash burger combo meal. Large curly fries, large drink, a combo. One item conceptually. We get to the window. They hand me a burger, just the burger, and they go, "You only wanted the burger, right?" No, the combo. The whole point of a combo is that it comes together. So they charged me an extra $3.50 for the fries, separately, not combo pricing. Just here's a fine for our mishearing you. And I paid it, because I wanted the fries, but I'm not gonna lie, I felt ripped off. Like if you realized the customer wanted the combo, give them the combo price. That's just service. I had to ask for the receipt, too. They weren't even gonna give me the receipt. So yeah, I think that was my last trip to that Jack in the Box. Maybe all Jack in the Boxes. The burger better have been life-changing. It was fine. Back home, I'd take my slightly overpriced meal to my room, and I watch the new Best of the Worst, the Plinketto one. If you don't know, Red Letter Media drops a ball down a pegboard, and whatever movie it lands on, they have to watch. They got this completely incoherent kung fu movie, like Rich Evans straight up said, is it that hard to write a story? A kid making something up would have been much more coherent. Then some bizarre evil ritual movie that was just gross. And then Mike had Player's Choice, and Rich clearly wanted the short sci-fi one, so naturally Mike picked the movies starring an actor from one of the worst things they've ever watched, purely to torture Rich. That's friendship. Then a quick store run with our family friend. I got milk and Googles, the smoky flavor, which I liked enough to buy again. And I want you to know I stood there doing per liter math on the milk. The smaller one was cheaper up front, but worse per liter. I did the math, I got the bang for my buck. This is the content you subscribe for. And then the spree, the real spree, the LARPing video game nerd playing the Michael Jackson motion-controlled game with his friends. Very goofy, very fun. A video about the Tex Avery show and how it completely missed what made Tex Avery a legend. Just a loud, obnoxious imitation with none of the craft. A couple accidental clicks I bailed on immediately. And somewhere in there I even rewatched a bit of my own video about canceling PS Plus. Yes, I was so deep into the algorithm, I started consuming myself. And that's about when the brain fog hit. that cabin fever where your eyes are dry and your brain feels like static. So I did something radical. I told our family friend I was going for an hour-long walk, left my phone behind, and just walked around the neighborhood. No headphones, no screen, just me and the neighborhood. It was genuinely great. When you're not being a fire hose with information every waking second, you actually notice what's in front of you instead of what's happening somewhere else. And look, staying informed matters, but there's a point where you're not learning anymore. You're just hoarding. You're collecting information on for the sake of collecting it, and you know what a hoarder's house looks like. You've seen those shows. That's what your brain ends up looking like. Stuff piled to the ceiling, and you can't even find anything, and there's a smell. So, walk. Highly recommend it. 10 out of 10. We'll forget this lesson and relearn it in 2 weeks. After the walk, more videos, including this one. I loved about a guy who bought the surviving assets from 2 unfinished animated films for $600. He's scanning everything in high quality and making mini docs about the films that never got made. I'm a total sucker for lost media, though what almost was of all, so that one hit for me. I also went down a Costa Rica research rabbit hole because I keep noticing creators moving there. The Billy and Mandy creator, Emp Lemon, did a whole video about it. The pitch is basically American life has gotten so corporate and tech saturated that people are trading convenience for a slower life closer to nature. And from my research, that's really the deal. Costa Rica, slower pace, decent healthcare, but imports are expensive and nothing is convenient, so it's a genuine trade-off. Speed and convenience with the side of horrific corporate decisions, or peace and nature with expensive ketchup. Choose wisely. Speaking of horrific corporation decisions, the PlayStation physical media thing was all over my feed today. The Sungrand Studios video summed it up. Sony looked at the backlash and basically said only 1% of players care about physical media, so it doesn't matter. And his point was, if that's how they treat 1% of the people who built them, why should the other 99 trust them? Don't get furious, just stay focused, and don't let them walk over the people who made them. The petition's at something like 270,000 signatures, by the way, and I signed it. And the top comment in that old "You Are a Pirate" video right now: if buying isn't owning, piracy isn't stealing. The internet remains undefeated. But here's the thing. The best part of the day had nothing to do with any of this. Dinner was tostadas with beef and guacamole that my mom made with corn on the side. Excellent. Then I made chocolate chip walnut cookies from scratch, browned butter, bread flour, the whole hour-long process, while listening to Jesse Michaels debate a UFO skeptic. And honestly, that debate was refreshing. 2 people who deeply disagree actually listening to each other with intensity, but also respect. I'm so tired of every disagreement being treated as total betrayal. That solves nothing. Watching 2 people hash it out productively felt like drinking water after being in a desert. Cookies came out incredible, by the way. Toasted walnut, crushed with a rolling pin in a plastic bag, because we are a professional operation here. Then me, my mom, and our family friend watched a Columbo we hadn't seen. The one with a senator candidate whose campaign manager is controlling his whole life, so he decides to solve that problem the Columbo way. And what I love about that show is Columbo never takes anything at face value. Every little detail bothers him until it makes sense. Honestly inspirational. And then, mid-Columbo, cat operation. Our cat was outside, refusing to come in, so my mom baits him with food, and while he's eating, I quietly circle the house, close the door behind him, seal off the dent, and corner him. Mission accomplished. He got so many pets as compensation. He even meowed to get into my mom's room and slept in there, which was very cute. He was not harmed in the making of this vlog. He was, in fact, snuggled. Late night, I wound up down a bit of an Empire of the Ants on physical disc, thank you, which reminded me of the little ant video my mom and I made recently. So I rewatched that too, weirdly nostalgic for something we just made, and I peeked at the opening of The Pebble and the Penguin, The Don Bluth movie everyone calls one of his lesser films, and honestly, fun, character designs, charming, cute. I enjoyed it for what it was instead of what everyone tells me it's supposed to be. Oh, and one animation thought before I go, because I watched the Angora napkin pilot, which was clearly going for SpongeBob for adults, and it made me realize something. So many shows look at SpongeBob and go, two dumb characters plus one annoyed character equals hit show. But that's not why SpongeBob worked. SpongeBob worked because it cared about the little things, the character details, the specificity. The jokes came from the characters in a respective way, in its own world, and a lot of other stuff that it tries to imitate is just the show's trying to imitate is just loud. So, getting mildly scammed at the drive-thru, watching half the internet, took one perfect walk, made cookies, solved a murder with my mom, and captured a cat. And tomorrow, the phone's getting hidden somewhere obscure in the morning, because the goal is to spend a little more time making stuff and a little less time hoarding. Thanks for watching. So, see you in the next one. Bye, everybody.